Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix, and I'm doing the Quick 3 Tarot for Wednesday, February the 15th. Before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Okay, so the March readings are up for general. So the general March readings are up. I hope everyone's been enjoying them. Definitely on the podcast, been getting good streams on those. So I hope everyone's enjoying them. The goal is to work on the love readings this weekend for March. So yeah. After that, then of course will be the money readings. I'm thinking about doing something different with the money readings. So we'll see where my energy is at that time. As speaking of energy, I want to talk about pre-shuffle energy on this. So pre-shuffle energy for this deck, and the deck I'm using is my Korean deck too, my Korean tarot deck. So pre-shuffle energy, some of you might be working odd jobs right now. Like it's like, and by odd I mean unusual, because sometimes people think of odd jobs as in like side jobs, but I'm talking about something that's unusual, that's sort of out of the norm. I just heard something in my head about catwalker. That would be out of the norm, but that's what it would be. Also, something is saying in the energy that you have to give in order to receive. So for some of you, there may be something that you have to do where you have to put in some type of effort or energy or invest money in something like a course in order to get something back. So keep that in mind too. For others of you, you may be on the job right now and you may feel that there's no room for growth because all of the higher up positions are already taken. So that was some of the energy that came out too. Now, whether you want to stay on that job, that's up to you. I can tell you, for some of you that are in that situation, the position that you're currently in, they actually appreciate what you do. It's almost like you're a specialist in the position that you're in, where you're like, okay, yeah, that's great, but I'm looking to grow. Okay, then that's where you have to make a decision on what you want to do. Trying to think any other energies that came up during the pre-shuffle. There could be a trust thing too, because that was mentioned as well, where you can only trust someone to a certain degree. It's like you can trust. It's almost like I was watching a show last night and she was saying to she was talking to her dad, because her dad, his son, which is her brother, he doesn't have a spine. So he just goes wherever the wind is blowing. And she mentioned him taking on a position for the father. And the father was like, I don't trust him. And then she was like, you can trust him to be him. And I feel that's what it is for whoever this may be resonating with. There may be someone that you don't really trust them, but you trust them a little bit because you can trust them to be them in a situation, if that makes sense. All right. So also collective readings are up. I need to do the new moon in Pisces reading, because the new moon in Pisces is coming up soon. So I'll probably do that. I might do that this weekend too. All right. So now let's go ahead and get into it. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. I'm just a person sitting here reading the energy and the tarot cards. You know your story better than I ever could. May I have the energy for the collective for Wednesday, February the 15th? May I have the energy for the collective for Wednesday, February the 15th? May I have the energy for the collective for Wednesday, February the 15th? What is it that the collective needs to hear? What is it that the collective needs to hear? What is it that the collective needs to hear? May I have 3 cards, please? Thank you. Okay, that just fell down. and 3 turned over. Okay, so that's exactly 3. Wow. I remember this card. Okay, so first card is Hayek Wan Jiang. So let me go ahead and pull it because I have to use my booklet because again, this is my Korean deck. Number 68. Let's see what this one says right quick. Okay, so this one says keywords: resting place, relaxed in peace. Even though you are not the main character, you are satisfied with your supporting role. Give yourself a break. Get away to a quiet place. Needs some secret space. Have to know that you already have everything. Okay, so for this card, what this is saying is that you need some rest and rejuvenation, which actually, that card came up in the pre-shuffle in the reading, my collective reading that I did for The Frequency Won't Change Until You Have Direction, that pre-shuffle reading, or that pre-shuffle energy in that reading. Rest and rejuvenation came up in that not too long ago. So with this particular card, and I always have to look at it again to make sure I'm close to pronouncing it correctly because I think I might still be getting it wrong. But Yang Wang Jiang. So with that, this is saying you need to find a place to rest, a place to get away, a place to let your mind not think about things. And for some of you, because this is saying that you have a supporting role and you're fine with that supporting role. Now, that supporting role could be a parent, because parents can have a supporting role to their children. That supporting role can be a child, where a child can have a supporting role to their parents. Or that supporting role could be a teacher. Or it could be you're on the job and you're a supporting role, like you're an executive assistant or something like that, where you're supporting a team and doing that. Some of you may work very, very hard and you may be consumed with work. What this is saying is it's okay to take a step back and recognize, you know what, let me take a break. And it doesn't have to be something where you're off in freaking New Zealand or somewhere for 2 weeks. I'm not saying that, even though there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying that a break won't hurt anything. And it actually may help increase your productivity after you've cleared out all the clutter in your mind that is built up. It's almost like, you know how when you surf the internet and the cache builds up as you go to sites and everything, and that's the information that's still stuck in the web browser. And then after a while, if you get a whole bunch, like you never clear it out or do anything with it, then it can slow down the web browser, or it can create other issues. That's sort of what this is. You need to clear your cache, is what you need to do. I'm almost tempted to title this that, clear your cache. So yeah, that's what that means for that card. Let's go ahead and go to the other card right quick, which is number 25. And this one is play blindfold tag. Play blindfold tag. And for this one, it says, unskilled beginning, but an affluent life with almost all needs and wants fulfilled. Now, it's interesting that this card is talking about that, because in the previous card, it was saying that you need to realize all your needs have been met. That's what it was saying. I really got to do something with my nails and my fingers. My fingers usually don't look like this. I've been procrastinating, and I will own that. But anyways, it's interesting that this is also talking about your needs are fulfilled. And the previous card was saying you need to realize that you have everything that you need. Now, it's also saying spring days of life. One from a powerful family or prestigious family background. noble status, and secure future. Now is the time to be fully happy with everything given. Lady of high status, young lady. So this could be a woman as well, a young woman who is from a very stable or either affluent background. Or they could have created that background on their own. So keep that in mind too. But it's amazing, both of these cards are saying you have what you need. And that's another thing too. If you don't clear out the clutter in your mind, you may not be able to recognize that because you're distracted by all of these other little things going on. All right, now the final card, and that is number 23. This is the Royal Ancestral Shrine. Royal Ancestral Shrine. And it says, keywords, very powerful in abstract and not so realistic. And I'm trying to read this as get my lighting here. Unfavorable for ordinary folks living a tough daily life, but this may be a good card for someone with power or social status. The most central concept that dominates a person's mind, past wealth and glory. All right. So for some of you, it's interesting we're talking about status here. Where this is saying this card may not really be auspicious for somebody on the daily grind, but it could be for someone who is from a affluent or very stable family, is what this could mean. Now, this support is jumping out at me for this card, where if this is a family member that has a supportive role. Also, I'm hearing supportive role in something that deals with organization, like whether it's charity or something like that. Something that deals with organization. This is giving me that too. Where it could be something, I'm hearing like a family foundation. You know, one that's named after the family. So where it gives out to charities and does things like helping people who need things. Stuff of that nature. That is what this is giving me right here. But all of this stuff, nonetheless, is still connected to you recognizing you have everything you need. Now, at the bottom of the deck, number 73, we have the moon jar. And I will read that one because that's sort of like the closing out energy. And the moon jars are usually very good. So moon jar 1 is at the bottom of the deck. Moon jar 1, and it says must focus on the basics of worldly matters. Pointless to skip a step, such would likely lead to going around in circles. Good to follow traditions, unexpected guests or offers. So there might be some unexpected offers coming in to you to do stuff for people, or you may have unexpected guests. Somebody might show up. So keep that in mind too. It also says such offers are not bad, good enough, acceptable conditions. So for these offers that may be coming in, this is saying that they will be decent offers. It's not like it's going to be over the moon or anything like that, but they will be reasonable is what they will be. I'm still on the clear your cache thing because I feel there's distractions around you. And there needs to be a moment to rest and reflect that you have a lot of good things going in your life, and also to appreciate time away from the distractions and appreciate what you have and what you've accomplished thus far. All right, so that is your message. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.